nobody would even be.
We've proven.
Questioning it.
I mean,
because real science is empirical.
We have proven that water is level and horizontal. We have tools designed on that fact. You guys want to come along and say that? Yes, we have for the whole of human history.
You haven't proven that.
We've made tools based on it. We use those tools based on it.
The fact that you're saying that means that you don't understand those tools.
No.
A water level, you're kidding me. I don't understand a water level.
Well, yeah, exactly. You don't understand a water level because water levels do not establish a horizontal. They establish.
We build things dependent on that fact.
Yeah, that's over short distances, so things do appear flat over short distances.
They are
you take
flat
the water
over
level
short
and you
distances.
just the two ends of a water level.
No, you have to prove that that flat line is anything but flat.
Oh my God, Paige. Jesus Christ, you're stupid. Jesus.
Yeah, because we designed a tool to do a specific thing. We build buildings using that tool. You people cannot prove that that water is curving around a ball, so you take it out on me.
I have.
Stupid.
George did exactly that.
No, you haven't. You've got an optical illusion.
Ignore it.
You've got an optical illusion that happens within your eye.
Illusion. You don't understand.
Are you going to let me rebut you, or are you just going to attack me personally?
Just because you have
Are you going to let me rebut you, or are you going to attack me personally constantly?
Okay, rebut me. The floor is yours, Paige. Rebut me.
We have tools. Sorry, I'm in the middle of playing a game. A water level establishes a horizontal line. That horizontal line can be extended. Yes, just listen to. Can I please just?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
It establishes a horizontal line. We can extend that horizontal line as far as we want, as long as the water, is the same. It doesn't have any locks or anything in it. If the canal is the same all the way along. So what you guys do is take the way we see, the geometry that we see within our eyes, and say that's what's happening to the ground. So the drop of the the dip of the horizon from a tall building, like what Ruhif is trying to go on about, the sun moving away and dropping down on the horizon and looking like a mountain thing, rock bottom first. Sorry?
You're deviating now. Now, let's talk about water lines. I'll tell you a very simple test you can do that will show that what you just stated to us is wrong. Take a water level. Make it out of,
Is it physical or optical?
Physical. It's all going to be physical.
Okay. Physical.
Take a water level. Take a 20-foot hose, say clear tubing pipe, fill it with water, and establish your horizontal between the two ends using the water levels on each end of your tube, and extend that horizontal out as far as you want to do. Okay, now, if you have means to do this, then also make another water level, say made out of 2 or 3 miles worth of tube, and line those two ends up.
Well, could you just do 100 meter, like 300 meter lengths, and piggyback them, like leapfrog them?
Or you can't do that. You have to have one continuous line. You have to have one continuous line.
Why?
Because the water will follow the curve of the earth. If you do it in piggybacks and in steps, it's just going to follow the curve of the earth.
I know that's what you think. I'm asking why.
Because of gravity.
What's gravity going to do to that straight line that I'm just
We're not
leapfrogging one
talking
straight
about a
line
straight
over.
line. We're talking about the water in the tube. Water
So
in a
at
tube.
100
No,
meters
no,
long,
just
that's
a
not a
minute.
straight
Hey,
line.
shut up a minute. Water in a tube to make a water level establishes every point of water on the ends of your water line, of your water level, will be at the same elevation. That is the key point
George,
here.
you
It's
just
always-
said you just said before that the water level did establish a horizontal in short distances. So I'm saying 100-meter length. Are you now telling me that 100 meters is not a horizontal line?
what I said. You're not listening to me. Please listen once more. Take 2 water levels, one over a short
Can you
distance.
just answer the question?
So you just shut up, Paige, and just put your listening ears on for a moment. You take 2 water levels.
Fuck, you're an
one
arrogant
very
prick. You
short
really
line,
are.
on a very
Insufferable.
long line. Rude SOB. Even though you're
No,
female.
I'm not the one
you're
that's
an
been
idiot.
rude. You. I haven't
You're
said anything
interrupting me
nasty to
all
you.
the time.
You've done
You know what?
nothing but tell me to shut up, tell me I'm dumb, blah, blah, blah. I've
Yes,
done
all
nothing
of
of that to
is
you,
true.
but you've
But
just
if
done
you
it
just
over and over and over. And then you
quiet
say,
for a
I'm the
moment, I
rude
would
son of a
explain
bitch. Really? Check out your
Really,
own behavior.
Yes.
I'm
You're
not the
very
one
rude.
sitting here calling you
You're
dumb and
jumping on
stupid
everybody all
and
the time.
telling you to shut up.
No, never let anybody
Am
finish.
I, George? Am
Are
I?
you what? Are you what?
Am I the one sitting here telling you to shut up, that you're dumb, shut up talking, you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing?
You
Am I the
infer
one doing,
that
am
by
I the
jumping
rude
in
one
on me.
here? Am
Yes.
I the
You
really?
infer that. Yes, you are the rude one. You infer
Really?
that by not letting me finish. I let you finish. You would
So
not let me
it's
finish
rude to
because I'm
interrupt somebody,
experimenting.
but it's not rude to call them names. Fuck, you are such a hypocrite. Like any normal person then would have said, yeah, fuck, shit, yeah, I was saying you were dumb and shit, yeah, fuck, I shouldn't have done that, yeah, you're right. But no, you just had to double down. What a man you are.
You will go on through life thinking that you've established horizontal to be level because you do not will not take the time to see where your misunderstandings are. So go ahead
George, I've
with
done
it.
nothing but study geometry for the past 6 months. Every day I've been studying geometry, what geometry is. I've learnt more in the last 6 months than I did in my entire high school education.
Well, I'm very impressed. So that makes you an expert. So you're so much better at this than I am.
I never said that. Never said that. What I am saying is that as a collective, we understand what a water level is, what it does, what we can do with it. You guys want to say that is no longer true.
Never said it's no longer true. I'm just
But
saying you
did. You said that
possibly
100 meters
apply
won't
it.
get me a horizontal. You're saying now 100 meters won't even get me a horizontal.
No, I did not say that. You're not listening to me.
That's why I asked you to explain
You're putting
why
words
those
into
100-meter
my mouth.
sections won't give me. Why, if I've kept the middle one and I just leapfrog the back one over the middle one, why, or even leapfrog it over 2 of them, 200-meter sections that I've made, both with water levels. I can even have them both in with one long 200-meter one to make sure they're the same and have them as 100 meters. Then leapfrog that one over to the front. Like, the only answer I've ever got, George, has been from Ruhif, and that was to sight it optically. And I said, but that's the problem I've got. I don't want, I need to make sure that this isn't what I think it is, that it's happening in my eyes. That's because everything that I can find at the moment shows me that math is what's happening inside our eyes, the way we see. And because we're looking through a camera or looking at a picture or we're still seeing it through our eyes. So I need a physical way to prove, that it's not just my eyes.
That's what I'm talking about. We need some physical, tangible shit.
And I just don't understand why that makes people so cross. They get so cross with me and tell me I'm dumb and tell me to shut up and, and belittle my children and tell me I shouldn't breed and, oh my God, it just goes on and on and on, all because I just want some real proof, please. Like, I didn't think it would be this friggin' hard.
I hear that.
Yeah, I just wish that you guys would at least understand our frustration and not take it out on us.
Oh, will you allow me to speak for 60 seconds here?
I'll go on mute. Yep.
All right. Say you have several sections, several water levels, each 100 meters. Okay. Say you have 10 of them, 20, however many you want. Okay. You take one of those water levels and you sight from one end to the other to establish your horizontal. Okay, that's going to be your horizontal line. Now you take 20 of them and say on the first line, on one end is point A, the other end is point B. Now you're going to take your second line and attach it to the end of the first one at B and go out to C. And you're going to put water in that second one so that at its left end at C is going to match that of the right end of the first line at B. You're going to adjust those water heights to match where the lines are tied together. Then you're going to take your third line and move it ahead to the end of the second line, fill it up and match its water level to the water level on the second line, and so on. You're going to keep all leapfrogging these lines where you're going to add a water level and fill it so that its level matches the previous level. And you're going to keep going out in the distance. Say, go out a mile that way. Now, the thing that you want to do now is line up the two ends from the beginning of the first line to the end of the last line and compare that horizontal to the horizontal of just the one line that you originally established your horizontal. And my claim is that those horizontal lines will not be parallel. They will not match up.
You're talking about doing it
Yes.
optically, right?
On the globe model, they
Think
shouldn't be
said
parallel
She didn't
or
want
the same straight line.
to
I mean,
do optically.
That will tell you if they are parallel and they match up, then you have a flat earth. If they are not parallel and do not match up, then you have a curved earth. That's the test you can do.
George, how familiar are you with the Bedford level test? Because I know you did something that was
Yeah, I know. I know about the Bedford level.
Well, I know that when it was redone in the later part of the 19th century, he had accounted for refraction. Do you know what steps?
Well, what the difference was is in the first Bedford level test, it was conducted in rowboats right near the surface of the water. So there was an awful lot of refraction going on. In the later test, they moved the targets up higher to get out of that refractive zone. And they were able to establish that you could not see the targets.
I was just curious on what that step was that they I know that's the
Yeah,
way.
the step was by moving things up higher above the water, so you're out of that extreme refractive zone.
What's a way we could do it tangibly, though, that we could get rid of refraction? Because I don't believe that refraction works the way you guys say it does.
You're roboting so
You don't
bad
have
you sound drunk.
any proof that it works the way you guys say it does now. So I
Just because you believe it does not work that way doesn't make it so.
I don't know if Jesse did this, but couldn't you do like a Bedford level test where you had them positioned exactly the way they were positioned, but instead of making it optically, use something like the what they call it, not the total, like the total station GPS thing, where it gets like within a decameter or within 10 centimeters of accuracy. Couldn't you?
You can be within millimeters. Jesse was here with his GPS, surveying GPS, and we were able to get things established over miles within millimeters.
Wow, okay. So that would be one way that you could literally do. You could literally redo the Bedford
Yes,
level
you can,
test.
but a lot of these guys don't want to believe in GPS and it's independent tests. But yeah, that'd be a very easy way to do. I mean, if you relax the accuracy down to inches rather than millimeters for establishing a tangent line or a straight line, you could do it very easily in an afternoon. And it's very easy to do as long as you're going to allow yourself to have a uncertainty of a couple inches. It's very easy to set up, and a couple inches is nothing when you're doing it over several miles. Say if you're going to go over 3 miles, you're looking
A couple of inches?
Oh, I see.
Really?
I can't speak without you being rude and interrupt. Can I?
I was sorry,
just can't
that's a
help.
shock. A couple of inches. You would allow yourself an error of a couple of inches.
It comes irrelevant when
If you're going over 3 miles, I just explained that. At 3 miles, you're looking for a drop distance of 72 inches. A couple inches out of 72 inches is not much of an error.
And if you had a tool such as that, you wouldn't be limited to a canal. You could try to do it over a lake, even of a longer
But
distance.
you can do it much more accurately than that. I said if you allow yourself an uncertainty of a couple inches over 72 inches, it's very easy to do. You could set it up within a matter of hours. But if you want to get it down to millimeters accuracy, then it's probably going to take several days in order to set up your GS and get it to that level of uncertainty.
I just need
George, do you have your hypothesis? Am I roboting?
Yes, you're roboting.
Fuck.
You're kind of clear though. I mean, at times.
A lot.
Do you have your?
The amount of time that it takes to set up many of these experiments depends on the level of uncertainty that you're looking for. The tighter tolerances that you're looking for, the fussier and the more time it takes. So the thing with a GPS, rather than trying to do things within millimeters over, say, several hundred meters, allow yourself a couple inches and do it over 5 or 6 miles. At 6 miles, you're looking for a drop distance of 24 feet. 2 inches and 24 feet is nothing to worry about. It's not going to swamp out what you're looking for. If you have an uncertainty of plus or minus 2 inches, and in 24 feet, you're over 24, 144, 288 inches.
Right. And one thing that you.
288 is nothing to worry about. And you could set that up in a matter of hours with a GPS.
And in that case, you've completely got rid of refraction as an issue.
Yes, the GPS is not affected by refraction whatsoever. But you can't do it with a handheld GPS. Handheld GPSs are much too inaccurate in elevation data. indications. So you got to use something like Jesse Kloslowski has, which is around a $20,000 system. And with that, you can get yourself easily within millimeters of accuracy in heights.
System. Like $150.
George,
Right,
do you by any chance happen to have the hypothesis for your Rainy Lake test on hand?
What do you want to know?
Did you make a
Which
hypothesis for it? Yeah, could you like DM it to me?
The one I did a couple years ago, or the one that I'm currently conducting?
The one you did before, the one that had a hypothesis and everything.
Yeah, possibly one that.
So what the deal was, there were two separate tests that were going on simultaneously, and as Poshel says, Walter Bislin, if you go to his site, the Rainy Lake test, he has it well documented, but there were two sets of targets that were set up. There was a Bedford level style target where a number of targets were set up over 4 miles, all at the same height, 73 inches above the surface of the water. They're all positioned 73 inches above the water. So if on a flat Earth you're looking at these targets, they should all be in line with one another. Whereas on a curved concave Earth, or convex Earth, the targets appear to get lower and lower as they got further and further from your point of observation. So
why would they appear to stay in line on a flat Earth? Why would you think that?
they're all at the same height, 73 inches above the surface.
So where's the perspective in that?
Where's the perspective in that? They're all at the same height. They'd have to be in line.
Where is the perspective in that?
I think you're a little bit confused about perspective. I saw this last night when
no, you're leaving
Rumpus,
it out.
Right, when Rumpus had posted this thing in like a 3D grid, you asked about perspective.
Yeah, once he turned it, I understood I didn't see it properly. I've got a tiny little phone screen, so once he turned it and I saw it properly, I understood what he'd drawn. But that's not what I'm saying.
In perspective, you're gonna see via perspective, no matter what angle you're viewing it at. But the thing,
why isn't it?
The thing that George is talking about is nothing to do with visual straight line. An actual, they're the same distance above the water, so they should be making a straight line. Regardless.
Yeah, side on, you would see it as a straight line, side to side, but you can't.
No,
you can't look at it.
Page, no. Take a set of dominoes, set it on.
No, George, stop.
Table.
Look down a hallway.
No, Page, shut up a minute.
Oh,
take some dominoes.
Oh my God!
Yes, you're interrupting me.
You are disgusting. You are an absolutely disgusting human being.
God damn, you're an annoying bitch.
No, you are just gross, George, really. Nasty, spiteful little troll.
All right, well, this is simple enough to understand. A straight line that viewed sideways looks like a straight line, sure. A straight line straight on, looking at it, the direction of the line, you're going to see the entire line collapse into a dot. It's going to all be, it's all going to be.
Look down a hallway. Yeah, the hallway is straight, but you're not seeing it straight, are you?
Yeah, but if you put something at eye level in that hallway, and you put a bunch of other things at eye level in that hallway, those things would all make a straight line to the end of the hallway. And if you were at eye level viewing it, you would see.
The floor is a straight line. The corners of the floor, and they go up in your vision and in.
You're not looking at from that reference. You're not looking at it through that line.
Yes, you are. You're looking straight down.
You're looking at it straight on. You're looking at it to see the line.
Exactly, like looking down a hallway.
Hallway at eye level, at something right in front of your face. An object that is in this position is not going to look like any of those perspective drawings. It's going to look like a dot.
What?
Something's right in front of your face, and there's a hallway, however length, and there's objects in front of you, and they're all at eye level, right in front of your face in a straight line. They would be making a straight line as viewed from any other direction, but viewed from the position of that eye, you're not going to see a straight line. You're going to see one position, one dot, or one. Everything's going to be collapsed into one small area, so that you're not going to see the whole length of it. You're going to see the very
Right.
first one.
Yeah, like if you just had a line drawn, not an actual big object or anything, just a line from like the size of your pupil coming out of your pupil and just going straight, yeah, it would just look like a dot, wouldn't it?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, Kosho.
Mr. Georgia.
Kosho. Could I explain something to you, and then maybe you could explain it to the flat earthers?
I'm not a flat earther.
This whole idea
It's not flat. It's got hills and valleys.
This whole idea of perspective, Kosho, entering into these things, this is how it works. Is say if you were to take a long table, a very long, straight, flat table, and you lined up a bunch of dominoes along the length of that table. So the dominoes are all the same height, just like the Bedford level, or just like the targets I set up on the at 73 inches above the water. Now, if you look at those dominoes, looking down the table, and due to perspective, the dominoes appear to get shorter and shorter and shorter as you look out at the dominoes as they go away from you. However, because they're all the same height above the table, the tops will all be in line with one another. You can sight the tops of the dominoes, and they will all be in line with one another on the flat surface, even though they appear to get smaller and smaller and smaller with distance. So this is the way you could tell whether or not you have a flat surface that
Nope.
the dominoes or a target is set up at the same height along there, is if you can put them all in line, sight them all in line, and you know you have a flat surface. And you will be able to sight them all in line if the Earth were flat.
That
Even
only
though they
works on a
appear
flat Earth at
shorter,
short
shorter,
distances, George. It doesn't work over long distances.
Yeah. If there's no optical effects happening, then yeah, sure. But
No.
if you have optical effects happening,
I don't think it even has anything to do with optical effects. That's not what we see over long distances on a flat plane. Say if you were to do that, line up those targets at the same height over, say, 5 miles and look down, they will appear to lower. But
the part that George didn't say explicitly.
Brandon, it doesn't matter whether they appear to go lower or higher. All you want to do is line up the tops.
That's what I'm saying. Even if you lined up the tops, it wouldn't work. It would look like it was going lower.
Yeah, so the tops are going down.
The tops, they're all at the same height above the flat surface.
The short
The part
distances
that's being
it'll
left
work.
out is the position that you're making the observation from. So you're right. If depending on which position you're viewing it from, they could appear to get higher or even lower, depending on where you're viewing it from. But if viewed from,
you're buying into this.
George, I'm trying to make George. I'm trying to help them
side, that would
understand
go
this.
down.
So hold on. There's a part you left out, George, and that was where you're making the observation from. You have to make the observation from your eye being level with the top of the front domino. And if it's level with the top of the front domino, it's going to be level all the way to the rest of the dominoes. But if your eye's not in that position,
That's what I was saying.
I know, but
what if
that's
you're off
they weren't-
to
So he's saying
Line
over
up
long
the top of the
distances that
domino.
breaks down.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No.
You got proof of that, George?
Have you ever,
Just
Hey,
saying no, it
yeah.
doesn't.
Brandon, have you ever tried it? Try it. Take a long table,
I know.
stack up dominoes,
At short
a foot
distances,
apart,
it works
and
out.
line up. See if you can line up the tops.
I know.
Yeah,
At
that's
short
not a long
distances on a
distance,
table,
George.
it works out. I'm talking about like, I don't know, let's say 300
Why would
meters.
it
It'll
fall?
start to fall.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, try it
yeah.
at 300.
And then it
meters with,
increases.
2 by
It increases exponentially as it gets further away from you.
Oh,
It falls. It does.
No, it doesn't.
Yep.
What? Because of the curve of the
Listen
Earth.
to the
No,
incre-
that's not because of the
incredulous
curve of the
tone in
Earth.
his voice.
That's what happens on a flat
Well,
plane.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
You guys
It
talk
is.
about perspective a
Not at
lot.
all.
This is actually a rule of perspective that George is saying. This is how perspective actually works. When something's at your eye level, If everything's
Yeah,
at your eye level
but-
perspective, they're all going to stay at your eye level.
We know you think it's a rule, and it is at
In
short
short
distances. It's pretty
distances.
close, but not at long distances.
Well, what makes you think it breaks down at long distances?
That's what we see in
What's
reality.
your, that's what you
Yeah,
see
how
in
far is that light
And
that
you've tried
Rachel
this.
sees? Like 5 miles or
And
something?
you've tried this, Brandon?
Huh?
And you've tried this to verify it? This is just conjecture. No, you haven't tried it. You're just pulling shit out of your ass.
No, I mean, I haven't personally tried it, but I have seen
Right,
enough
there you
other
go.
people's experiments to comment on
Oh,
it.
you
Sure, I
Yeah.
have.
No, you try it yourself. You won't know.
Well, how do you know?
Well,
I
then you
have
know
seen-
nothing about space or
I'm
moon
not-
landings or anything because you haven't done it yourself, George. So you better
George
not talk
has
about
tried it.
anything you haven't
George-
done.
I know George has tried
George
it, but he
has
assumed
tried
that
it,
there
and
was
he-
curvature.
Yeah, exactly.
I have footage
You
like,
you tried
somewhat
it,
in that
George. It
direction.
fell
So he
apart
begged
for
the
you, and you
question.
blamed it on Earth curve.
Yeah. Yeah, when it starts
Guys, like I
dropping,
said,
then
you
they
guys
say it's
bring up
Earth curve.
perspective.
But that's how
You guys
perspective
bring up-
works.
Great. How
But
scientific
this
is that?
is a fundamental law of how perspective works.
That's
Like if something's in
that's
your
what you
eye,
guys
if
think
something's
because
at
you
your
have
eye
Earth
level.
curve.
Yeah, but if you forget about the Earth curve and
So what?
anything like that,
So what? These things
there's no
can
reason.
never
Like, I'm talking about what
change.
Brennan said specifically about it getting different at longer distances without bringing in any atmospheric optical effects or anything like that, just by the basic fact of reality. But that's not true. Reality would dictate that if you're at eye level, objects above your eye level are never going to overcome things below your eye level, and vice versa. So they're going to all converge at your eye level. Things at your eye level are going to stay at your eye level.
Nope.
But
That's not how it works in
what we
reality. Sorry.
see.
Can you
There's
show
a-
us?
a
Can you show us
Rachel's
how you
talking
determine
about
that
a light she
experimentally on a
sees.
flat plane over a long distance? That's how it would work. Say a mile, 10 miles. Can you show us?
Oh, good
Make
luck,
a straight
Coastal.
line.
This one is for
Make a
you.
straight
I've
line,
had
mother-
enough of this nonsense.
Oh, come on, George.
Make
It's a fair
straight
question.
Line. Show us that's how it works. Make a straight line and show us that's how
No,
it works.
we're attacking them, Brandon.
I'm not trying to
You tell me
attack.
anything.
I just want to see experimental evidence because you guys are going to have to say it drops because of Earth curve. You have to invoke your ball.
Exactly. We don't live on a flat plane, so you're not going
It has nothing to do
Yeah, see,
with
there you go.
drop. It has nothing to do with drop.
It has
All
you
nothing
have
to do with drop. You've got
I
to,
have a
you've got to
question.
cut that out. That's some good
I have a
quote.
question.
Dan.
Is there
You
any
won't let
way,
anybody ever finish. All you have to do
George,
is get yourself a straight road, level road, flat road, let's say, stack up pillars all at the same height along that road, and then see if you can sight the tops of them all in a straight line. And you can if you're on a flat surface. It doesn't matter how far out you go.
Flat or level, George?
Flat.
And level?
Forget about level. We're talking about a flat surface. If you stack up
They're
pillars,
desperate to forget
Oh,
So
about
I've got to
yeah.
find a flat surface that negates the supposed Earth curvature. Then is that what you're saying?
we're not talking about curvature. We're not talking about level. All we're talking about is you take a flat surface. This is what we're starting with. Forget about conflating Earth curvature and all this stuff. If you take a flat surface
Yeah.
and you stack up pillars equidistance apart, going out for however long you want, and if you put your eye at the top of the first pillar and sight down, all the tops of the pillars will line up in a straight line.
You think so? Have you tried that?
I told you. Yes.
You did. You did it. You found a flat surface, so it was not a level surface then that you were working on. It was a flat surface because you.
Flat surface.
Hmm.
There's a stretch of
Where is
air
that?
at the local airport. There's a stretch of very flat runway.
So the runway doesn't follow the curve of the Earth in your model then?
Not over a half mile because they've graded it to be flat.
Which airport?
And how do they do that, George?
National Falls International
They don't
Airport.
They don't make runways to be flat. Are you nuts? The water would pool up. They pitch them.
not
George,
over
do you
small
say that
sections of a
that a
half
water
mile.
level
You can
just
easily grade it
establishes
to be
a
flat, and to
horizontal
get
over
the
a
water
local
to
level?
pitch off, you crown it going
Is that what you
sideways,
say?
not lengthwise.
George, do you say that
You
a
may be
water
right.
level just creates a horizontal over a local level? So those 2 points are at the same elevation. Points if you drew a straight line.
Oh, you're
Agree with
roboting,
that.
Ansel. Try
The courier
again.
pigeons. The courier pigeons have gone
Oh.
down.
You're okay now. Try again.
No, George, are you saying that a water level just establishes a horizontal over a local area from point A to point B? And that those 2 points are still on the same elevation?
How local?
I don't think you said that
How far
they
is
create a
local?
horizontal at all.
Say 100 meters. Say 100 meters. So from point A to
Wikipedia
point B,
says they do, Kosho.
if I use a water level from point A to point B, say over 100 meters, that those 2 points will be at the same elevation with a water level. Is that correct? George or Kosho?
Yeah, ask that again.
If I wanted to create a horizontal line using a water level over a local area, say 100 meters, point A to point B, and I get my water level out, those 2 points will be at the same elevation. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they'd be at the same elevation above the surface, sure.
Yeah, the same elevation. And so if I was to draw a straight line between those 2 points, it would be a nice horizontal line at the same elevation according to the water level.
I wouldn't call it that, but I know that they can say that over a short distance you can build a short distance horizontal, but I wouldn't call it a horizontal for the sake of not confusing you.
So if you were to use a water level, Kosho, right, from point A to point B, are you saying that point A and point B are not horizontal?
I would say that the plane that you've created is not horizontal from the position of either of those sides. But if you look at the picture I just posted, there's the water level would be the dark blue post all along the earth. And if you look at the second one on the end, so the second one from the left and the second one from the right, there's a line that's created from those two water levels, or that water levels from those two positions. And I wouldn't say it's horizontal from either of those positions, but it is horizontal from the position right in between them.
Oh, I'll answer Bandsaw on that one. Bandsaw, if you take your experiment that you did, you have a water level, and let's say the end closest to you, they're on one end, say end A, the other end, the far end is B. If you drew a straight line between A and B to establish your horizontal, and if this were above, say, calm water, like on a canal, very calm water, A and B will be at the same elevation, but any other point along that straight line is going to be at a lower elevation than points A and B. Not all points along that straight line are going to be at the same elevation on a curved earth. On a flat surface, yes, all points on that line would be at the same elevation, but on a curved spherical earth, points, midpoint on that line between A and B will be at a much lower elevation above the surface of the water than the endpoints.
So then if you were to take then a second spirit level, water level, and go B, C, right,
Yeah,
and
okay.
you line up your next level with mark B, all right, and extrapolate that out to mark C, they're still at exactly the same elevation, and it's still a perfectly straight line.
No, okay. Now this is where the difference comes in, Bandsaw. Points A, B, and C, yes, are all at the same elevation, the way you set it up. However, any point between A and B and C are not at the same elevation as A, B, and C. And if you were to take a line now and go from A to C, that line would not be parallel to the line that you extended from A to B. They would not be parallel. On a spherical Earth. On a flat surface, they would be, but on a spherical Earth, they would not.
I've never seen that, George, but I'm going to say that I haven't done it on a large scale, so I cannot.
Yeah. You would find what I just told you to be true on a large scale. Now, it's also true on a shorter scale, except that the differences are so small, it would be very, very difficult for you to measure the differences. And that's why you have to go out like
Absolute
several
load of rubbish.
miles.
Water gets
order to
more
get
accurate
enough
with
change.
distance.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, you're an annoying bitch.
Damn, George.
And you're just wrong. Water gets more accurate with distance. So, sorry, old man, but you're just wrong.
Let's get more accurate or less accurate. It's water. Water is water. I think what the George is saying is that he's talking about making the measure, like the picture I just made. There's an obvious difference in the heights at the ends where that light blue line is being created. It's much higher than the one right in the middle, and this is something that you can measure over a long distance. All George is saying is, if you do the same sort of, you're trying to make this observation over a short distance, the difference in the heights are going to be, in some cases too small to be able to measure.
Trouble is, Kosho, like it doesn't make logical sense, and it just hasn't been demonstrated over a larger scale. It just hasn't.
It does make logical sense. I don't understand why you said that, and it also has been demonstrated.
No, well, illustrated hasn't been demonstrated.
George himself has demonstrated something along these lines. The Bedford level demonstrates something along these lines.
Yeah, but okay, so I got a couple of questions about this runway this half-mile runway. Do you have pictures of this test you did on the runway, George?
No, this was done before I was ever involved with this flat Earth, globe Earth stuff.
Okay, and all right, well, I guess that's kind of useless then. See, this is interesting because you say in order for them to be at the same height as you look down them, because the Earth is curved, you need to raise them up. My contention is that you need to raise them up because due to the way we see, things will appear to drop with distance, and it happens gradually over distance and then increases exponentially with the distance away from you.
Yes, that's true. I told you that.
Not due to Earth curve.
That's
just how we see.
Listen again. If you have a flat surface,
yeah,
like on this runway, and you have, say, boxes or pillars, all the same height, and you line them up along that runway or along that flat surface, going out a distance, say you space them equidistance apart. You might have hundreds of these things, however many it takes to go along the length of the run. And then you go to the first block or pillar. You put your eye so that it's in line with the top of the first pillar. And you sight down all the pillars. You will see all the pillars in line with one another, even though they appear to get shorter and shorter the further they are away from you due to perspective. Yes, they appear to get smaller and smaller, shorter and shorter. However, the tops will still be in line with one another. You may be looking down, but that line going down will be straight, lined up with all the tops of the pillars.
Yeah, so so let me try to rephrase it and just clarify and make sure I understand what you're saying. So if you lined all these boxes up at the same height on a flat plane and you looked down the top of the first one horizontally, you looked horizontally, not down the tops of the boxes. If you looked horizontally, you would see the top of the boxes in the distance gradually lower.
No.
Yep, that's what he just
yes,
said.
because George,
that's
what
not-
George just said, listen to me. What George just said
That's
is that
true.
if you are looking
true.
down, you will see them in a straight
Well,
line.
thank you,
If you are
George. You
looking
agree with us.
horizontally straight ahead, they will appear to lower in the distance on a flat plane.
But
Correct, George?
I'm just
The apparent, yeah.
Yeah.
The important thing is I don't care if they're appearing to look lower, higher, or whatever. The important thing is that the tops all line up with one another, which indicates to you that they're all the same height above the flat plane.
Yeah, but if you're
I
looking
specifically made this
horizontally and they
picture-
appear to gradually lower,
Yeah.
George, on a flat plane, that matches reality.
Yep.
That's why I made this
Yep.
picture, was so that you wouldn't. There's no reason to have that confusion. It's
The top,
This isn't confusion.
You gotta
George just
send this-
confirmed
you
my
gotta
I'm telling
assumption,
you that it's
Social.
not
Kosho.
looking
to
down
Bev.
either.
Please,
Like
Brandon.
I literally made a box, a perspective hallway or whatever. There's a line that's demonstrating the level that the eye is, that they're looking at the hallway. I made blocks that were the same exact size, and they were at just as tall as your eye level. And you can see that as they go in the distance, they appear to get smaller. Yes, the bottoms of them appear to move upwards towards the eye line, but the top of them don't move downwards at all.
Kosho,
they
this
stay
is,
at your eye line. the
you
entire
think
time.
I'm not understanding what you're saying. You drew a fucking diagram. I'm talking about reality, and I'm asking George, who has done it supposedly on a flat surface, and he just confirmed my assumption, not what you're saying.
I don't know why he said looking down, because if you're looking at eye level, you're not looking down.
that's
Mic
correct.
check, can you hear me?
He said you would look down because he was
Get
being,
into
he
that.
was telling the truth. He was just explaining it the way it actually works. And
It's
he got
okay,
it
George.
right.
Thank you.
They would angle down. So if you looked at them from the side on, you would see an angle down line. So if you're looking out horizontally, the tops are getting lower and lower off into the distance. George was just completely honest and didn't realize he was being completely honest.
Oh, no, that's not what I.
That's
not
what you
I
just said, George.
No, just
It
a minute.
is.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen in reality? You sight down the tops of those
Don't
boxes.
listen to him change it.
No, when you let me finish, you look on the tops of those boxes. You think you're looking down, but if you look at the boxes, it's actually the bases appear to be rising up to your eye level, not that the tops are going down. And this is where you're all getting buggered up, is when you sight the tops, you are
So,
sighting
in
horizontally
reality-
on a flat plane, but you're not looking down. The bottoms appear to be coming up. And that's what makes them shorter. Look
No,
shorter.
we're saying in reality, over distance, things at the same height appear to drop. We're saying in
No.
reality,
It just
Yes.
depends where you're sighting from. If you
and you
put
just
your
agreed with
eye
this
at
before,
the
and now
top
you're
of the
changing.
box- No, I'm not changing. If you put your eye at
I
the top,
fucking hope Brandon's got this right.
oh, forget it.
Can you guys hear me?
Jesus.
Mic check, mic check.
I think you should listen to what George is about to say, because it's extremely important. That's why it matters. when you-
Yeah.
It's not important if he
No,
can't prove it.
Yeah.
but-
This is
extremely
important.
Depending on where you're looking at it from, it's good. It doesn't. It's not
No, it's
automatically
not
going to be dropping.
extremely
have to be
important
looking
at
from
all,
below. If you were
Kosho.
below
He's
the
a
eye
very
level-
deluded old
If you were
man.
below the eye level in this
Forgets what he
picture, then the
says.
tops of them would be appearing to go downwards. That's true. But at eye level, they don't appear to go downwards. They stay at eye level because that's where they are, at eye level.
That's what I asked. I asked him specifically horizontally. If you're looking horizontal down the top of the first one, if
He
they would
said they
appear to
would
drop.
See, this is the thing. You should say from the top of the first one, not down from the top of the first one. When you say down from the top of the first one, what that means to me is that your eye is not at the same height as the first box. You're up above the first
Mic
box
check,
looking
mic
down.
check.
Then yes, things
Can you
do
hear
appear
me?
to be looking down. But if you sight your eye
Yes.
at the top of the
Yes,
first
Babs.
box, look down the line of the boxes, they're all going to be lined up. And then if you look at the bases of the boxes, the bases will be appearing to come up to your eye level.
Do you have proof on a flat plane that that's how it would work at distance? Say a mile at least?
Look, I'm just going to say this,
No,
and I'm going to.
I mean,
go
it's fine,
back
George.
on
I'm
you.
just asking you because I keep asking for this evidence and no one has it.
So yeah, Brian Leakey last night was talking about this test that he wanted to do, where you're looking at posts that are of equal size, but you're looking at them from side view. Now, I wanted to ask a question to the Globers. Like, we know that when you're looking straight ahead, that rate of drop is different than when you're looking from left to right, because you're looking at two different axes, right? So if you know the rate of drop from left to right, and you have posts lined up that are all the same size, would you expect to see those posts start to drop over distance from side view?
Would depend upon how long a line that you've established. If you're looking left to right if you're at the center and looking left to right, and these posts go out, say, a mile, and the perspective is going to come into play, and yeah, they'll appear to get shorter and shorter, smaller and smaller, looking left to right, but you're not necessarily going to be detecting any curve of the Earth doing that.
Yeah, that's what
It's
I
very
meant.
hard to detect the curve of the Earth looking left and right.
That's what I meant, because it's a
Fucking
different rate
shouldn't
of
be.
drop. So if you have a horizontal line above those posts, you would expect them to drop, but it would be a lot more difficult than if you did it forward to backwards. But you run into this perspective issue when you're looking at things forward to backwards. I'm going to
That's
go
what I've
back
been
on mute.
trying to explain to them. They don't understand.
Only difference in going forward to back with what you're talking about, the apparent drop. There is one way you can detect the difference between being on a flat plane and a curved spherical Earth. Is due to perspective, the drop that you're going to perceive will be linear with distance. It'll go at the same ratio with distance, whereas on the curved Earth, it's going to go as a square of the distance. It's going to drop a lot quicker in distance as a square. It's a squared function, whereas due to perspective on
When
a
did you
flat
do
plane,
this test?
it's a linear function.
When did you do this test on a flat plane to get your math?
They've never
You just
made a
claimed
flat. They've never done.
for 6 months, be able to see this.
What's that, George?
Your geometry shows you this.
No.
Payge was making a big deal here a
So
bit
it's
ago.
just
how
your
she studied
opinion.
geometry for 6 months. It's not an opinion. All you have to do is
Yes, it
model both
is.
a flat plane and a curved plane, and you can see that in one case,
in your
drop is
model,
going to be linear with distance, and in the other case, it's going to go as the
you
square
are
of the distance.
modeling it on a computer. We are talking about what we see in reality.
That's what I'm saying. If in reality,
Yeah, all you've
you
got
see
is
things
no. In
drop
reality,
linearly.
they drop. No.
Jesus,
Oh
will you
my
fucking
God.
shut up? Jesus, for once.
I've
put a
hardly
sock
said
in.
anything, George. You haven't shut up this whole time.
Oh my.
Page is right. You monologue a little bit, George, but it's okay. But George, have you made a flat plane to test anything on refraction, perspective, anything? Have you ever done it on a flat surface? Hello? Did I get disconnected?
No, you're still there.
Oh.
What do you expect?
Yeah,
me to
no,
do?
you're still there. His butt hurt.
Well, you're saying that perspective does this thing on a flat surface, so I'm guessing you must have tested it to see that it does that. Or is this just another baseless assertion of shit that you guys can't
Yeah, of
prove?
course he
or
hasn't.
demonstrate?
And he laughs at you. He laughs at you
What
for
is
expecting him
perspective?
to have done this.
Perspective is a mathematical description.
No, it's something that happens in reality, George.
It's something
not
that happens in
math.
yeah.
It's mathematically
You can't.
modeled.
No,
How do
you can't.
How do you think you get perspective drawings in that? You use mathematics. You use geometry on your paper to
Okay,
get
we're not
perspective.
We're not talking
But they're
about math
only
or
small distances.
we're not talking about math or geometry. We're talking about what happens in reality. Now, have you ever checked this to verify it to make sure?
what happens in reality to make sure.
This thing you're saying about things that when you look down them on a horizontal line, that they'll all stay straight and not drop.
Do you accept that it reaches your eye when there isn't a lot of refraction or any refraction, that light will travel in a straight line?
Bro, I just want to know if you've done this in reality to make sure that that's what really happens. That's all.
I'm trying to explain to you what's
I don't know. I
happening.
don't need an explanation. I just need to know if you've done it.
No,
we don't
he
need
hasn't.
Yeah, I'm tired of the explanations. I want demonstrations and proof of shit. I don't want half-assed
Well,
Yeah,
ad hoc.
same.
Right
Ad hoc
yourself. I don't
explanation.
look at Jeremy. I don't jump through hoops for you or anybody else. Go try it yourself.
I hear you. You're claiming that shit happens though, just like all the other
Yeah, and
Globers.
what
You're
we
claiming
see.
shit happens, and then
Why
you have
would
no
he test your
demonstrations.
theory?
You claim shit happens, and then you have no demonstrations or proof to verify that actually is what happens. You do this all the time.
What's going to happen if you believe light
That's your-
travels in a straight line? That's what has to happen. It's
If
very
you
simple.
believe.
Child
It's very
can
simple. If you
understand that. The
believe.
fact that you can't is your problem, not mine.
That's a baseless assertion.
It's not based on
Then
assertion.
why?
Light travels in straight lines without there
Then
being
why are you here?
significant refraction. And all you have to do is very easily set this thing up. It's a thought experiment that you should be able
Oh,
to
it's the
easily
professor.
deduce in your mind.
Afternoon, Phil.
Yep,
And your fact that
he's
you
still
are
him.
very limited in your thinking abilities is not an issue for me to deal with.
Thanks,
It's
Phil.
an issue for
Nice
you.
to see your smiley face, Phil. That's lovely. Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
Been a while, man. Where you been hiding out, huh?
Oh, I've been really busy, and it's this time of year getting enrollments and all sorts of stuff done.
Okay. All right. Well, we thought maybe someone took
But
over
I'm
your
Yeah,
account.
you'd be flat out at the moment, wouldn't you?
I am flat out, but I still
Phil.
listen. So there you go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, Phil, George here. I'm going to pass the baton to you. You see if you can get through these thick skulls. I'm done.
Be kind. Okay, go ahead. Got any questions?
Yes. Can you demonstrate or prove anything about any of the heliocentric claims?
Oh gosh, that's such a
Anything.
broad. That's such a broad question.
That was
Yeah, I mean, I
pretty
left it
broad,
wide
wasn't it?
open. I left it wide open.
Yeah,
You
he's
can pick
basically saying
anything.
dealer's choice. Pick
Yeah,
anything. Literally
anything.
one thing that you can
Probably
prove.
better if you pick something. All right. Well, you know what I'm going to say. Satellites.
You can prove satellites are in the sky.
Absolutely. Have a look yourself. You can see them.
No,
Yeah.
let's drag Phil back to the ground. Make him prove something on the ground. He's too good with his satellite shit.
So let's stick to Earth. Let's stick to some Earth-based.
Looking at
shit,
lights
yeah.
in the sky is not proof of what those lights are.
But the
Let's
lights
stick
in
to
the
some.
sky are taking pictures of the Earth.
Well, let me just tell you one little thing about that. I can predict when they're going to be there. You tell me. Do I have a hotline?
They were
spot?
doing that thousands of years ago without satellites. You can predict where the stars are going to be without satellites.
No. Yeah, I can tell you. I can tell you to the day, to the hour, to the minute when you're going to find a new. When you're going to find a new one.
When you're going to find a new one. Now
Yes.
that's a claim I haven't heard.
There you go.
Okay, and how do you verify?
next time-
How do you verify that it's in space and not just high in the sky? How do you do that?
The next time that I get to do this, I will come on and I'm going to tell you a day in advance when it's going to be
Wait.
and where to find it.
Here's the
Okay.
problem. Here's the problem. Even if you're right, if you can't answer this question properly, it won't matter. How do you verify that that light is in space and not just really high in the sky? How do we verify that?
What do you mean by space?
Outside of Earth's atmosphere.
How do you know what's outside of Earth's atmosphere? What
We
how-
don't. That's what that's
Well,
what
when
he's
did-
saying to begin with. We don't know. It's
when
your
does
claim
Earth
that you can know. So that's
So-
what you
so
need to show is
generally-
how do you prove that it's in space and not just really high in the sky? How do you do that?
Well, what do you call space?
outside of Earth's atmosphere.
How far is that?
I don't know. I don't think it's real.
Above
Don't
low
you?
Earth orbit.
Well,
It's
how can it
your
not be
pretend
real?
land. You decide how far you claim it is. I don't make
How
stuff
can
up
it
for
not be
you.
real? How can it not be real if you can look in the sky and look for yourself?
I don't claim
How
that
far
it's
does
the fact that it's space isn't real. The fact that
How
it's
far
there
Just 'cause
is
we-
real. Listen,
How
if I
far
told
does
you
the
there was
sky
a
go?
magical band inside of a brick, would you believe me? No, it's not space inside of a brick. It's just a brick. The sky is just the sky. And whatever's
How far?
up there is just up there. There's no outer space
How far does the sky go?
as far as it goes.
No, come on. You got to give me something.
I don't have to give you anything for your imagination. I'm not the one claiming that I can go beyond there. I don't go up in the sky. So
do you think
listen,
it's
I
more than
just want to clarify. You don't have a good answer for me, do you? How you
Yes,
prove
I do.
verifiably? How do you prove
Oh,
verifiably to other people that it's not just high in the sky and it absolutely 100% is outside the Earth's atmosphere? How do you do that?
You can triangulate the satellite for certain.
How?
Two people on the ground looking at it from from let's say 100 kilometers apart.
Okay, and how would they go about that?
Well, yeah, triangulate it. I'm not going to explain it here now, but do you understand what triangulate means, don't you?
Okay, so which numbers are you going to need to triangulate it?
Well, you want the angle to the satellite from two people 100 kilometers apart. So they know the distance across the ground, of course, because they're 100 meters, and they've got the angles both sides of the triangle heading towards the satellite. Well, trigonometry, the stuff you did in year 8.
Okay.
Okay. Remember that stuff?
Can you triangulate a plane?
Of course.
You can.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
What would I need to do that for? You think I haven't got better things to do?
You're claiming that you can triangulate an item that's moving at, well, actually in space it would be moving probably.
We can't triangulate the sun.
Miles per hour in the sky. You're claiming that you can do that.
Of course.
You can triangulate an item in the sky moving hundreds of miles per hour.
Absolutely.
Can you demonstrate that?
Well,
you don't think that the angle, that any of the numbers change as it moves? You don't think that any of that changes?
Of course it changes. And why?
How do you triangulate the position of something that's constantly changing position? Please explain this to me. This sounds fantastical.
Record the change.
Record the change. You can't record. Listen, you don't have the first number yet. You haven't triangulated it because it's moving. So you can't record the change because you don't know where it started. You haven't triangulated it yet.
Of course you can.
No,
and by the
I
way,
just explained to you why you can't. Please tell me how you do this magical thing.
And by the way, first of all, you can get either the radar that's on the ground to help you, or you can ask the pilot.
Okay, yeah, you can trust people and you can trust man-made tools, or you can verify it yourself, which is what I would require. I'm talking about verification, not trusting people. I'm talking about verification. Okay, so you don't have a good way to prove it verifiably. You trust people. That's an answer.
Of course I trust people. Of course I do.
Okay, that's fine. You trust people. You don't have a way to verify it. Thank you.
People trust me too.
That's fine. They can trust you. You don't have a way to verify it, and that's what I wanted to point out. That's what I wanted to make the point. You can't verify it. You can't prove it. You just trust people.
They trust me with $100 million worth of stuff.
Well, of course they do. Sure. Why not?
Well,
you're doing exactly what they want you to do, right?
We trust each other because we're professionals.
I'm not going to rely on trusting you, though. I'm going to require verification, proof.
No, you should.
You can't provide that, so.
No, that's nonsense. That's a total nonsense.
Oh,
of course
that's nonsense. I hope
you've got to trust people.
I hope it's recording this.
You
just trust
the people.
people's word.
We've got to trust people.
That's good enough, apparently.
No, Phil. Oh my God, no.
Nonsense now.
You don't have to. They need to earn your trust. You don't have to trust them.
They do.
Okay. For you, I think obviously they've earned your trust, but I don't know these people. He doesn't know these people. We don't have to trust them. That's all I'm saying.
Of course you don't have to. but you're open to. You should. I think you should. You know, if I, you know, I have 200 students in my group, and they're going to trust me if I tell them something, and if they don't, they can look it up.
But the problem,
Imagine
the problem I get is,
I told them a lie, and
well,
they
see,
went,
that's the thing. I don't think you think you are, and I think there are a lot of teachers out there that are like you at the moment. Like my son's teachers, you know, they're lovely people, and I'm sure that they believe what they're teaching my children is absolutely true, and you know, science has figured all this stuff out, and you know, I don't put it on them at all. You know, it's just now that I've realised I should be skeptical, then I'm going to be skeptical of everybody now until, you know, they can actually demonstrate to me that they're worthy of any, you know, trust.
oh, look, Paige, there's no doubt you have to. I mean, there's all sorts of things that you know of in life because you trusted people because someone else has told you. I mean, you do know that water is H2O, don't you?
Well, yeah, we can argue about that, but yes, obviously there are things that, you know, I've just trusted.
You know what I mean.
Well, as a human, you're born with a blank slate, aren't you? So you've really got no choice but to trust what people are telling you. It's just that, you know, I've realised that they control the information, because if you can control the information that comes into a person's head, you control their reality, because you're literally designing the reality around them by the information that you're either giving them or not giving them.
I think that's true to some extent, but I think the thing about it is that's always open to scrutiny. So that's why that's hardly ever done. Let me give you an example, Paige, because you know,
sure.
I mean, you're a Gippy girl, so you know where your lawn is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You do. And you know that there's a whacking great power station there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Paige, have you ever been inside it?
No.
I've been to the.
Oh well, I've seen what they look like, yeah, but I've not physically.
So it's magnetic flux, you know, that is the reason for generating the electricity. Yeah. A turbine, a steam turbine turns an armature, and it's this magnetic flux that actually causes that creates the electricity that we get. Do you know
produces?
Paige,
yep. Okay.
Yeah, Paige. You understand all of that, don't you?
No.
You understand that generators create electricity, right? Through a wind.
Absolutely.
Turbine. How do you know this, Paige?
Because I benefit from the electricity that comes out of it.
Not only that, you've been told how electricity works.
But that's not how she knows it. She knows it because she can watch.
Yeah, I know it from practical use.
She can use her refrigerator.
She can't watch electricity, but she still knows how it's generated.
No, she doesn't know how.
Sure,
she knows what she's told about how it's generated.
She knows the building at your lawn has got a generator in it.
No, but it's not quite the same as like the sun or something where I can't, you know, I can physically, I could touch electricity if I wanted to. I wouldn't, you know, wouldn't be very good for me, but
you could go to, you could actually go there and when they
but I can't go to the sun.
But you've got an instrument you can look at the sun with, Paige.
But that's not the same as going to it and knowing what it is and verifying it.
Yes, it is.
Looking
at to me it's not. Yeah, see, that's it. To me it's not.
Mirages are real, dude.
No, you've got a spectrometer. Why don't you look at it?
You have a man-made tool designed to do a specific job, and it is claimed to do that job.
Of course you got it. Of course you got it, man.
Okay, so the man-made tool, it's successful at doing the job
because it might be missing something. because it hasn't been programmed to detect this other thing. So it's
They
not
can't
detecting
program
it.
to detect the stuff that
They
they
can't
don't know
program because they
about.
don't know it's there. Yeah. So
It's only protected to find the thing they know that they want to find.
What do you do? Kate, Page, how do you know when your kids have got a temperature? You chuck a thermometer in their mouth, don't you?
sorry. Well, normally I can see a red flushed face and I go and put the back of my hand up to their forehead, and if it feels warm to me, then I go and get a thermometer or something.
Yeah, you've got an instrument, Page. You see, because even though
I have a physical way of feeling that temperature as well. Like I wouldn't have even gone and got the.
That's a trick.
Totally.
He's pulling a trick.
But in order,
you're pulling a trick.
Okay.
Hold on.
Sorry, I'm playing a game while I'm talking, so I'm not 100% concentrating.
You. She does not
What are you
know
doing?
the numbers on that thermometer are accurate in any way, shape, or form. What she can detect is the difference between a normal day and when the thermometer is abnormally high. She is not detecting.
But I can do that with my hand.
No,
I know how warm my kids normally
any way, shape, or form.
feel.
All she knows is that it changed. That's it. Anyone can observe a change.
No, she's got precision with the thermometer.
She doesn't know that. All she knows is there was a change, not what it is.
Yes, she can. She can read it.
No, she can read it, and it could be wrong, but she would still know there's a change because she can watch it change.
Unlikely. Pretty unlikely.
It doesn't matter whether or not it's unlikely. The point is that's a trick. That's not giving you reality. It's giving you observation of a change. That's verification of a change.
Sorry, but the temperature is reality.
You can't prove that.
Yeah, temperature's in reality.
You absolutely
what
cannot
he's saying,
prove that.
What he's saying is that there is a change there. Even if the thermometer's broken, you would still know there was a change. But you don't know how.
The numbers, all of the numbers on the thermometer could be changed to unicorns and gremlins and goblins and fairies, and it would still show the exact same change. And it wouldn't matter, and it wouldn't be telling her truth about unicorns or goblins, would it? Because she can observe the change does not mean she's observing truth in the numbers. Absurd.
These instruments are very accurately calibrated. They need to be.
You can claim that, and you have the right to believe that if you want to. That is not verification of truth.
You bet. You bet I do. Especially mine, by the way. Let me grab it. There we go.
Oh, shit. Zombies attacking me. There's bloody masks in this game. You can run around wearing a mask.
You know what this is? Maybe I'll turn it on. There we go.
Is that a digital thermometer?
If you can see it.
Yeah.
Well, look at
I got one of them that you stick in a chook's bum.
I actually got a FLIR. I got a FLIR camera.
So this is a transducer. So look at that. See, this is a very, very expensive instrument. This calibrated. Okay. So there you go. I've actually got one right here. This I wouldn't use for people though, but yeah. So it's an instrument, just like the instrument that you can poke at the sun.
You can't poke at the sun. Can we keep it on Earth, guys? Please. You don't know anything about space or what's going on.
Yes,
yeah, but if that instrument, like, Phil, can that little thing that you had?
You can't verify it.
Yeah. Thermometer, yeah.
That little thing that you had, can that, for instance, weigh me a cup of sugar?
No, of course
Can
not.
it do that?
No.
Okay, because it's not programmed to do that. So what if the sun is... Yeah, so what if the instruments they're using to measure the sun just aren't programmed to measure the other things that are coming from it?
But why would they choose something that's why would you choose the wrong instrument?
That's not her point.
Well, for them, it's not.
They don't know everything that exists in the universe, so they don't know if they programmed it for
Yeah,
something
they won't
that
even
isn't
know
there,
if they've
or
missed
didn't
something.
program for things that are there.
Oh, rubbish.
They can't
You-
know.
Sorry, I'll be back
there's
in a
no way
minute.
to
I'm
know.
just going to be AFK for
Because
5
they can't go there and check it.
What for? What would they need to go there to check it for?
That's what
To
verification
verify it.
Well, they can verify it with local sources.
is. No, they can't. That's not
Yes, they
verification.
can.
That's
Oh,
not
absolutely.
verification. You are incorrect
All right,
about what
let's
verification
get
is.
back
You
to
are
my
wrong,
thermometer.
sir.
See this thermometer. I pretty much know the temperature of boiling water is going to be.
That
100
thermometer
degrees.
is not verification.
Listen. I pretty much know the thermometer is that boiling water at 101.3 kilopascals is going to be 100 degrees. So I can use this. I can use that knowledge to calibrate this thermometer to make sure that this thermometer is correct. So when it does that,
How would you do that? Wait, how would you calibrate it?
okay, it's got an instrument on it that you can a pot that you can calibrate it with.
No, but I mean, how would you calibrate it to?
I put it in the water and boil the water to 100
Oh,
degrees.
so you physically put it in the thing you're talking about. Got it. So you would verify it by physically interacting with the thing. Thank you.
No, that's how I calibrate it.
That's right. That's how you calibrate it, buddy.
That's how you
what I'm
verify
saying.
that it's. That's
Thank
how you
you.
verify that it's correct. I didn't like where he was going with this, but now I understand.
Just wait. We haven't finished yet. Now, once I've calibrated,
It's over. What do you mean? It's you haven't finished yet. It's
no,
over
it's
with.
not.
You
No,
just
no.
said you calibrate
wait,
it by
wait.
physically interacting with
Oh,
the thing.
damn, I
You
missed
can't
that.
do that with the
Just
sun.
be quiet. Just be quiet. Now, when I take
Nice.
this thermometer and I wave it around in the air, it reads 25.3 degrees. Why do I trust it?
I don't know. Why do
You
you?
verified it because you verified
Because
it by interacting.
Because I calibrated it.
Because you
having
calibrated
it
it by
interact with
interacting
the material.
physically with
By
the thing you're trying to talk about. You can't do that with
therefore-
the sun. Therefore, it is
Yes,
not
I can.
analogous.
You
You
see the
are wrong,
instrument-
sir.
Mm-mm. Because the instrument that I use to look at the sun with and work out what the sun has
Is not physically interacting with
it's
it. Therefore, it's not
calibrated before I
calibrated
do that.
because it's not actually real.
No, it's calibrated before I do that, just like I calibrated.
How do they
How?
calibrate
Did
it?
they take you to the sun?
Yeah. If you had to physically interact with the water, how do they calibrate it
Page,
without?
that's done on a whole series of things that you of different
With
elements.
computers and stuff.
Are at the
Yeah.
sun.
No.
Thank you. You are wrong.
Yeah.
sir.
So
don't want
none.
to-
Yeah. So we
if you
might
just
not
shut
have
up for a
added
minute, I'll
something.
explain
We.
it. If you
Okay.
just shut up for a minute, I'll explain it. Okay, so you heat up a whole row of elements. And for each one, you have a look at the spectral lines of each particular element. And once you've established what each element looks like in the spectral lines, you can then point it to the sun and see which one does it compare to. Hydrogen. Helium. Oh,
Okay.
right. Okay.
Did you heat up the 3,000 extra elements that we don't know about yet?
There's not 3,000.
I was gonna
You
ask.
don't know.
Yeah,
Thank
you don't
You
know
are wrong,
that. You're
How do
only
you know?
testing for the things you know that are there.
Oh,
Well,
How do
he
you
maybe he
verify
knows.
that calibration with the sun?
All right.
How do you actually
Maybe he knows what he does.
verify it?
if you think you need to get, all right, let me get you something else. All right, just a minute. Just a
See,
minute.
that's our whole thing, Phil. Is that
Don't go away.
we want. All right, we won't go away.
He might be one of them guys that knows what he doesn't know.
All
know,
you're
there's
doing
stuff
is
out
a
there.
comparison.
Let me see. I'm sure this one's got one.
I hope Brandon's still
Yes,
recording this. This is good stuff.
I
Yeah,
didn't
this
like
is
where
good
you
stuff.
I didn't like where you were
Usually-
going at first. I didn't like where you were going with this at first, Bob, but that was nice work. That was good.
Let me see if this will
Yeah,
work.
you got to love the way Bob thinks sometimes, don't you? He comes out with some good stuff.
Let's have a look. Just try and rest this against there so you can see. Now, what do I have to do? Press that button over there. Okay, and here we go again.
If Brandon has some dead air time tomorrow, I got a couple of
There we go.
tricks that I thought of that they use that I
Look
can
at this. Do you know
tell
what
you
that
guys
is?
about.
Or is it upside down? It's upside down.
It's the periodic table.
Look at that.
Woohoo!
Guess how many there are?
Yeah, and didn't they know there was shit on it before they even found
Guess how many
some
there
new
are?
stuff?
Are you going to tell us a periodic
92
table?
natural ones. 92 natural ones, not 3,000. Okay, got it?
The ones that you
Well,
found.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
92
yes.
that you found,
so
yeah.
you're claiming that you
Please
know
don't say
all
that
of the things
nonsense
in the
again.
universe that you don't know yet.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we do know every single one of them.
So you've been to every
And
part
more.
of the universe and you know every element in every part of the universe already? You've physically
We
been there
know
to
every
verify
single
it?
element that's possible.
Bob,
Ah, okay. So you don't actually know. You have no way to verify it or prove
Yes,
it.
we do.
You believe
Yes.
it.
Yes, we do.
You
and not only
trust
that,
someone else.
Bill is talking about natural elements. We know exactly how many natural occurring elements there are. No more, no
Spot
less.
on, George.
Because you've been there and
Spot on.
verified it yourself.
I feel like
It's
I'm in the Truman
impossible
Show.
for
We
there
know
to be any
everything.
more.
Impossible. Thank you. You are wrong, sir.
We
George,
No,
already
I'm not
learned
wrong. It's
everything. Don't
impossible.
look.
If you look at quantum mechanics and the one that the atoms are structured, it's absolutely
Right.
impossible to have
All
any
you're
more
talking
than
about
92
then,
natural
that all
elements.
these things are possible and not possible.
George,
Right.
I was just about to tell him that. Thank you for popping in. I was just about to tell him it's impossible for there
Yes,
to be any more.
it's impossible.
There's 92. That's it.
Of course, it's impossible. Science dictates it's impossible. So it must
It
be
is.
true, right?
Of course, it's impossible. If you knew anything about atomic
So
structure,
Phil,
you know
what if
why it's
what if
Okay.
what
It's
if
just
Jesus
like-
came back and turned us all back
This
into
is
our
exactly-
bodies,
Wait.
and
This
there's
is
whole
exactly
new.
equivalent. This is exactly equivalent to saying it's impossible for a triangle to have any more than 3 angles, interior angles.
If it's
There you go.
impossible,
It's
that means you
impossible for a
prove it's
triangle to have more than
impossible with
180 degrees.
Okay,
That's
so
true.
everybody,
That's
thank
true.
you very much for having me. I
Mm.
have to go.
Yep.
Thank you. That was
Oh,
very,
thanks
that
for
was a lot of
joining us,
fun.
Phil. It's good to see you smiling and healthy.
Phil
No
looks
worries.
Phil looks like
Say hello to the missus.
Take
Phil
care.
looks
I
like a
will do
jolly
that.
old man.
Okay, cheers.
Yeah,
does.
he's always got a big smile on his face.
You should
He
grow a
looks so
beard.
jolly.
You look like Santa Claus, maybe.
Yeah, his students
Maybe you
probably
should
do love
do that.
him. You know, he's always such a happy, you know, always
seemed
smiling and
That was nice.
yeah.
Even if he is a bit off his rocker like the other ones, he at least keeps his head about him, which is nice.
He reminds me of like the, you know, sort of eccentric, kooky uncle in the family. You know, the one that at Christmas dinner rabbits on about all these things.
He's got to be kooky to be in this arena. On the Glober side, anyways. I mean, if you know it's a globe, why would you sit around all day arguing with flat earthers? If I made a chat room that said pigs
Yeah.
could fly, yeah, let's pretend I made a chat
Yeah,
room
would they
that
come
said,
in and argue with you about it?
yeah, you're gonna argue with me ad infinitum about if pigs can fly or not? No, you're gonna be like, that
Of
guy's an
course
idiot.
not. They're just going to tell you you're stupid and yeah, keep going. But for some reason, they just can't walk away from us. Hmm?
It just kills me that they can't demonstrate or prove anything. It's ridiculous.
I mean, he basically outright just admitted a little while ago that he trusts people and that they trust him, and like that's fine. Like if that's what you're going to base it on, that's fine for you, and you can live your whole life like that if you want to. There's nothing wrong with trusting people. That's a decision
Exactly.
you get to
But
make.
that's your choice.
Right.
Yeah.
As soon as you
I
start
don't have to make that choice.
because you trust them, now you've crossed over. Now there's a problem. I don't have to trust people because you trust them. I don't have to take what they say as fact or true because you trust them. That's not how science works. That's not science.
I've been thinking a lot lately about what the sun. It was funny, right? The Ham put a video out about. Yeah, I'm not allowed to do that. About Newton's laws of motion and stuff, and one of the things that made me think of was the sun. Like, you know, an object in motion stays in motion. I'm thinking, okay, well, the sun and the stars and the moon and stuff all are always going, aren't they? They never stop. And then we've got the problem of them not being able to triangulate it, or when they try to triangulate or something, it's in different spots for different people. But if it's like a one of those holograms, those 3D hologram things that, you know, doesn't matter where you're looking at it from, it's looking at you. Yeah, the moon could definitely be something like that.
When you try to triangulate a reflection, you'll get it in all different. Yeah, if you ever try to triangulate a reflection, it'll come out in different spots. That's why they say it doesn't work on the flat Earth, because every time they try to do it and assume
they're
the
trying
Earth
to do
flat,
it to the physical.
It's always coming
object.
up in different spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they say it doesn't work on a flat Earth, because it's always coming up in different spots. But that's what we would expect to see if it was a reflection.
I hadn't thought of reflection. I was thinking like a flashlight and trying to like triangulate the flash of the light on the wall rather than the actual flashlight. And then, you know, it could be something like that where you're not actually looking at the real physical thing. That's somewhere else.
Yep, the reflection will get you all kinds of wacky things, and it won't make sense because it's a reflection. But they know what the sky is, so
brilliant. Yeah.
They know what the sky is, so it can't be that, though.
Yeah, they've already figured it all out. We don't have to worry. Just go back to sleep, Truman. I just don't. I've gotten to the stage where
I just checked, and it, as far as I can tell, and this makes good sense to me, triangulation of a moving object is not a thing. That's not just something you can do.
He would have to just triangulate. He would have to like assume it stopped and pretend, like take a picture of it, pretend it stopped there. You know, to be able to do that.
Yeah. And then, like, even then, like, that doesn't. You have to then assume like where it's stopping, because things that are farther away will look like they move further. Things that are closer, or the other way around. Things that are farther away look like they move less. Things that are closer look like they move more. Like, you have to come up with many assumptions then if you're going to try and figure out. You can't triangulate a moving object. That's like, how are the angles not going to change if the thing is moving? That just doesn't make good sense. Like, it's like literally nonsense. But his answer to that was that you track its movements. Like, you check the difference. It's just like you didn't check the beginning part. You didn't have a starting point, so you can't check how much it's moved because you didn't know where it started. That's just that's terrible. That's awful. That's absurdity.
It's gotten pretty bad lately with the things they've been coming out with.
I was screaming at him in Gems earlier over a surface of a sphere.
Really?
They're still trying to say it's 2D.
The sphere is 2D?
The surface of it.
Wait, what?
Which has length. The surface of a sphere that has length, width, and height, because it's a sphere. It'll be in a spherical shape, right?
And they say we don't understand 3D
Yeah, no kidding.
space.
You know, a sphere is going to have length, height, and width. So if you have the surface of that, length, height, and width, apparently that's 2D.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. I was flipping out on him.
That has to be something that doesn't exist. You have to pretend, because the question would end up being, how deep is the surface? And they would have to say it's not deep at all. It's just whatever section is on top that doesn't have depth. That's the surface. That's not a thing that exists in reality. That's not real.
Even
undevelopable.
Even geometrically, it doesn't make sense on paper because you have length, height, and width to it.
Yeah,
it's a sphere. A sphere.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
they're taking the geometry for a circle, a flat circle.
The thing that they're having you picture or try to picture is it's a non-existent thing. It's not real. A 2D surface of a sphere. That's not a 2D surface. Is not a real thing.
They'll tell you to peel an orange and then lay the orange peel out flat, and that's how you have a surface 2D. It's ludicrous.
But that peel has depth to it.
Yes.
Because they tell you to ignore it doesn't mean it's not there.
Even if you did pretend that the surface had no depth to it, you still have a sphere. That's length, height, and width you need for that.
Right. For you to get the sphere part, you have to have those three. Otherwise, you're talking about a circle.
That's what. Yes. Yes.
So you can't say it's a sphere and basically claiming that there is depth, but then say, but let's ignore the depth, but still keep its 3D sphericalness. Oh, that's not how reality works at all.
I was fucking triggered earlier. I told them to all suck my dick. I told them they're bitches. I don't know. I was freaking out, man. I can't take these guys anymore. They're driving me nuts.
Yeah, I had to stop coming in for a while because I got to that stage where I was just so annoyed with them, just blatantly lying. You know,
it doesn't help you're going up against 5-6 Globers at once either. That's why when the Globers come in here, we gotta just pick someone to go against them and let that person handle it. I wish I could have talked more on the show. They got me in elementary school, and this was actually a good show because it wasn't like a shit show like last night.
Yeah, I think today was relatively calm.
Kosho's good. Kosho's all right. He's a good Glober. He doesn't get too crazy.
Yeah, notice the only Glober to try to start to cause trouble was Aaron Armstrong, as usual.
What did Aaron do?
He was talking shit in the YouTube sent that super chat about me.
Oh, really?
Saw me come into the chat, saw me type one thing, and then sent a $2 super chat saying, "Oh, the show's so much better without painful Payge," and then sent another $2 chat a couple of minutes later saying, "Oh, she is here. Oops."
No.
And it's like, fucking hell, man. Are you obsessed with me or what? That's creepy, dude. Get out of my closet.
How's things over at Bev's?
I haven't been over there I've only dropped in to put a hello in I've been in here instead. So I was hoping to have some gotten anything until today when George was saying all that stuff. So I'm hoping now we'll have something to pick apart.
My bad. I called you Emma the other day because usually she's the only girl in there. And I was all fired up.
I understand. It's cool. Oh, and thanks for sticking up for me, everyone, too. That was real sweet of you. I know I can be hard to tolerate sometimes. I jump in when I shouldn't, and I'm just a little bit feisty sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. This arena gets people fucking triggered. Like I said, I was triggered this morning. Like, this is a fucking heated topic.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard to, I managed to have a discussion with Mum and her partner about the vaccine and about some other things that were usually cause a fight between me and her partner. And this time I managed to be able to stay calm and I didn't lose my shit. And he lost his shit a little bit. But when I walked away, I said to Mum, see, I have learnt how to control my temper and be able to, talk like an adult. And she's like, yeah, you did really well.
But I mean, if you think about it, it gets heated only because they force that by not accepting the rules of engagement as far as standards in a conversation. They won't just prove what they're saying or accept that that's not the case. And that's the way science is supposed to be done. Either you prove that it is or it defaults to it isn't. But they won't accept that. And then they expect you to accept their lack of evidence on trust or whatever.
And if you don't, they call you stupid.
And being in that situation is frustrating. If someone says it never snows here, it's impossible to snow here, and you walk outside and show them it's snowing, yeah, they as a human being can say it's not snowing, but that's not going to be a comfortable situation for anybody who can see the snow and is willing to recognize that it's snowing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Nathan playing that clip of Rumpus saying one thing and then saying exactly the opposite. I mean, the amount of times in the last, 4 or 5 years that we've heard him do that, it's just...
Oh my God, if you went back 5 years and cut out every clip of every Glober contradicting themselves...
Can you imagine?
It'd be a fucking 37-hour YouTube clip.
Probably.
I went to look for a compilation of NASA fakery one time, and I managed to find a 6-hour clip of all their fakery, and I'm like, how is this such a short clip? I couldn't believe it was only 6 hours long. Yeah, I couldn't believe it was that short. I was like, only 6 hours? That's it?
Yeah, the moon landings, I mean, with the games and stuff we've got these days, you just look at that and you just go, oh, shit, that's just a joke. Like, oh my God, that's embarrassing that anybody believes that anymore.
That's why they keep pushing it back, because they know we're analyzing the material they put out with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah, they realise they're actually getting, really bad scrutiny. Like, people are actually looking at every little thing they do now.
So they're like, oh my God, can we even fake another one? Because I don't know, because they're analyzing it so hard that, they would need a big Hollywood.
Yeah, well, look at Gravity, the movie Gravity. Like, they'd need something better than that.
That's what I mean. You're going to need a whole fucking production crew for that. And that's going to be hard. There's a lot of people in on it.
Jeremy, don't get too comfortable patting yourself on the back as to how smart you are.
Okay, thanks.
What?
George. Why?
What the fuck? What are you even bringing up people again
that
for,
was just a
George?
left out of left field.
Yeah, out of left field ad hom attack. Yep.
No, Jeremy. The thing is, just like with earlier, Bob Dole stating, well, what about the other 3,000 elements? The fact that you don't understand quantum mechanics or not familiar with it you would
Yeah,
understand
just atoms.
why there aren't any more than 92 naturally occurring elements. It's
Yeah, you don't
impossible to
understand
have any more.
land.
It's
Do you know what happens,
absolutely impossible to have any more.
George? Do you know what happens everywhere in the universe?
See, again, the fact
just
that
wondering.
not having the background is not allowing you to understand why you cannot have more than 92 naturally occurring elements. It's absolutely impossible. You can go anywhere in
Okay,
the
George,
universe
what if-
you want to go looking
what if
for
a
them, and you're not going to
meteorite
find any
came-
more.
Oh, so even out in space, you know, like an alien race doesn't live on a planet that's different to here. You already know that, do you?
I never said that. I said that you can't have any more than 92 naturally occurring elements. That
Well,
is
maybe
a
their
fact.
nature's completely different.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Well, can you prove it? Can
Wow.
you, like,
What a
is that
scientific
the best you've
response.
got? Yeah, right. So, yeah, right, is it?
Hey, speaking of NASA fakery, have you guys ever watched Dilly Gill's videos?
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Yeah, he does a brilliant job, doesn't he? All of you guys do. All of you guys that come out and, you know, get on these channels and put content out day after day, you know, you all should be applauded. We wouldn't have a community if it wasn't for you guys.
Well, you too. You're a part of that.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if
thank
I'm
you
not
for
going to be on
allowing me. Yeah.
I'm not going to be on the show tomorrow. I'm going to the water park. It's mad cheap right now because of COVID.
Really?
Taking it
How
full
cheap
advantage.
is it, man?
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's so fucking cheap, bro. It's usually like $200-something a night for the weekend, and now we're getting it for $85 a night. So
damn.
And we missed it.
Wow.
We missed it last year. Yeah, we missed it last year because of COVID. We didn't go. We usually bring the kids every winter. You know, break up the monotony of winter and bring them to the indoor water park. So bringing them now.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's cool for them. It's a huge fucking hassle for us.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to go. Like,
It's for the kids.
Play in the water. Daddy, take me here. Yeah.
You got to drive and you got to unpack everything and pack yeah, it's a big, you know, it's for the kids though, so.
Right.
And I'm sure the wife shows her appreciation.
And oh yeah, she does. And the fucking,
Yeah, I bet.
the water's freezing every time I go there. It's hot when you walk in the place, but then the water's cold.
Huh. That's not cool.
The lazy river, it takes me like 20 minutes to get in that shit. I got to tiptoe in it.
Hey, you ever see
It's a good time, though.
the South Park water park episode?
No.
You should if you like South Park, you should watch that tonight. It's pretty funny.
I used to watch that all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
20 years ago. I can't believe it's still going.
Yeah, right.
It's like some Simpsons shit. Like what you did with George when you're like, yeah, oh no, that's not what it does. And he can't prove it. He can't prove that what he's saying is true and that what you're saying is not true.
Yeah,
They've never made a straight line. This all comes down to us making a straight line as humanity. We could solve this once and for all.
Right. Yeah. It'd be that easy,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
Oh, Jeremy,
I
fraction.
Jeremy,
it
I've
really does. It comes
explained
down
this
to
to
is
you
a water level
no less.
horizontal.
Jeremy, I've explained this to you no less than 3 times over the past half year, and you still don't get it. I've told you how to
We
draw your straight line.
understand it.
You won't do it. You don't
George,
understand.
We understand your explanation. We understand your explanation, but we don't need explanations anymore. We need proof, demonstrations.
Yes, I'm saying I
verifiable
told you
shit.
how to go out. I told you how to go out and do it. Go do it. Quit jawing.
And make a straight
It's
line,
just like
non-optically.
Deb and Ranty.
You told me how to go
You
make
don't
a
have to
straight
use
line
optics. You can
without.
Yes, I've explained it to you 3 times. How many more times do I have to explain it to you how to draw your straight line without using optics? My God, man, you're as dense as Bev
How do you
and
do it?
Ranty. with the
If you
fishing
want to
line. I've
teach this to
explained
our
to them. I'm waiting
children,
for you
you
guys
should
to
be the
go
one
and do
doing
it.
this.
Go and do it. Quit
No, we
talking
should.
about it.
No.
Go and do it.
With a fishing
Seven.
line?
Up to
Right.
you. It's your claim that the water's
Hold on.
bending.
Hold on, you
7
said
more
do it with a
times.
fishing line? Yeah, I'm gonna need at least 7 more times. Let's make this one of
Uh-huh.
them. You said do it with a fishing line? George?
If you want to, or the GPS system, however you want to do it, go and do it. It's been explained
So-
to you.
Use a fishing line in air or underwater?
Can't do it in air. I've explained it to you why you can't.
So we do it underwater.
Say you can't get it. You can't get the sag out in air.
So we can
I
do it
bet you
underwater.
any
you
money
think?
there isn't a single flat earther that actually needs to go and do this test after they see, like after they get shown the geometry. I can guarantee you there wouldn't be one flat earther that actually would need to go and do the test. They
Oh
already
yeah, I'm
know.
trying to do this. I'm trying to do
Yeah,
this for my people.
it's for
though.
them. Mm.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to do this for my people, like the normal people, my wife. You know.
Yeah, yes, normies for them, for the masses. the
Yeah.
sheepily ones.
My wife said it wouldn't even matter the shape of Earth. She said it doesn't matter. I'm like, are you nuts? She doesn't understand the implications.
Yeah,
it has.
I think it's a huge thing. Like
Nothing's
probably
bigger. Yeah, there's no.
the
there's no-
biggest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? What else could make more people decide there isn't a God?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were talking about this last night. This is how they got rid of God. The church used to have this sway on people, and they introduced this heliocentric bullshit, and boom, no
yeah,
God.
Priest did. Like fucking hell.
Well, that's smart because the best thing is to have both your bases covered. Like if you have opposition, the best thing
Yeah,
to
the
do
best
is
way
have
to control an opposition is to lead it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I
why
wonder if
flat
you can
Earth.
get tax
That's
breaks
why
for
flat Earth.
researching flat Earth. Get some sort of tax break.
Ooh.
That's why Flat Earth Society is #1 on the Google list when you search Flat Earth.
Exactly.
Because they're they're the ones.
Given all these stupid arguments about gravity being to the center of a flat disc and you'd end up walking up fucking hill. Oh my God, how stupid would you have to be to believe that?
Imagine coming into the financial year page. You went out and bought an auto level, auto light, this and that, spectrometer, right? And you kept all the receipts and you handed them in to the tax man.
I hadn't even thought about that.
And then you claim
it all,
them, right? Research for flat Earth, right?
Yeah.
Research for flat Earth.
Oh, those sneaky dogs. Those sneaky dogs.
You'd probably get away with it too, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to write a grant up at one point to have the government pay for it.
Oh, that would be good.
Do it under the guise of some other kind of. Do it under the guise of like some other kind of weird experiment or something, and try to get a grant.
Well, what would Nat Geo have done? You know, when they did that one where they lied and said that bit of paper that they had the 3 lines on, they said it was going behind the curve when you could see the water horizon higher behind it. While
that was embarrassing for them, yeah.
Oh, that was so embarrassing.
I would be embarrassed to be a Glober right now.
They
I'd
should
be like,
be
guys, we
ashamed
really
of themselves,
can't.
yeah.
If I was a Glober right now, I'd be like, guys, we really can't prove it or demonstrate anything. This is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, this is getting pretty fucked. It's been years. Why are we struggling? Like, hello? Help us get rid of these guys. Just fucking do something.
Yeah, Ben, so are you looking for an auto level? Well, they're not all that inexpensive, or not that expensive. They're quite inexpensive for a good auto level.
I've actually got one, George. I use it for my job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
But
admittedly, I just use them over short distances, though. Admittedly, but
Bandsaws are working, man. You work with your hands, don't you, Bandsaw?
I do.
I'm going to be probably looking to sell one of my auto levels and one of my theodolite total stations.
George, when
I
you
don't
did your
blame you, George. They don't do
observations
you much
over
good.
the lake 12 months ago or 2 years ago, or whenever you did it, you did multiple observations, didn't you, over multiple days? Yeah.
Over a whole winter,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
You said those targets were 73 inches above the water level. Yeah.
One set of targets were, and the other set of targets were adjusted to be in line with the tangent. But yeah,
Right.
one set of targets was
Yeah.
set out to 4 miles, about every half mile out at 73 inches above the water.
How often did you check the water level to see how much it fluctuated by over that whole winter?
Every day.
Oh, okay. So every day you went up to the little hole and stuck the tape measure in and measure the distances. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And it stayed consistent for a whole winter at 73 inches, did it?
Well, the targets
I
above the
don't-
water.
did he-
Yes.
Did you actually go and measure them like he's asking, George, or are you misunderstanding what he's asking you?
Do you
No, I
understand what I'm saying?
physically went to the targets and measured from the center of the targets to the surface of the water.
Yeah.
Every
And you did
day.
that every day. You did that every day.
Every time I made the measurements. Of course, there are some days I couldn't
So-
make the measurements because of weather, it being snowing or storming in some fashion. But on the days that
So,
I made the
roughly?
measurements, yes, I went to every target.
Like once a
measured.
week?
And so over a whole winter, it stayed at 73 inches. That level, did it? That's
Well, the targets were mounted on the ice that was floating on the water, and then I just
I know that.
Yeah. So the ice thickness remained constant through the winter, so there's no reason for the targets to move more than a fraction of an inch with respect to the surface of the water.
George,
I
here's
just
what I'm
would-
going to do. Oh,
would
my
have
bad.
thought
Go
that
ahead,
the
man.
level.
Oh, it's
I just
like
would have thought
solid ground.
the level water level of lakes and stuff, even when frozen, would have fluctuated over the
So
season.
the water, yes, the lake level fluctuates, and that's monitored on a daily basis by the Lake of the Woods control board, and that's published online every day. As far
So
as
then,
what the
if that lake level is fluctuating every single day, then how can then those targets then be exactly 73 inches above the
It
water?
mustn't affect the ice.
Did you
again,
move them every single day?
look at bandsaw. The target centers with respect to the surface of the water does not matter. Water level that's independent of the water level, the actual water level, because the ice is floating on the water.
You measured down to the water level, not to the surface of the ice, didn't you?
That's correct. I punched a hole through the ice to let the water come up, and then measured from the target to the surface of the water, the liquid water, not the ice.
Exactly.
And it
this
never
is what
changed.
and this is what I'm saying, George. Over a whole winter, that water level didn't actually change at all. It stayed at exactly 73 inches from the center of that target. That doesn't actually kind of seem like that would happen, really, because you're always going to get water height fluctuations. That doesn't matter what the season is.
Well, he said they checked
Body
it,
of
so you'd be
water
able to
itself.
check.
Shut up, Page. I'm talking to bandsaw, not you.
Oh my,
Oh, look at bandsaw.
George! When there are
The
more than
actual height,
two people
the
in a
actual
room,
height.
everyone
Fuck
can
off,
talk.
Page. Jesus
No,
Christ, I'm
George,
talking
you
to
will not
bandsaw.
bully me. I will
All right,
join
forget
in
it.
the
Oh,
conversation if I
some
want
other day,
to.
bandsaw,
You
when we
will
can
not
talk along
bully
with this
me.
annoying woman here. I'll answer your questions, but as long as Paige is here, there's no point.
I'm not going to let you bully me.
George,
Tell
here's
you
what I
what,
want to
bandsaw,
do.
go to the beef room with me, and we'll just do a one-on-one, you and I. Tell you what, bandsaw, go to the beef room, and I'll just have a one-on-one with you without any interruptions, and I'll answer your questions.
Oh, I'm kind of getting them answered, but I just find it fascinating that the water level didn't fluctuate; it just stayed constant that whole time over the whole season.
Well, there's two things that are going on. One is the depth of the water with respect to the bottom of the lake. Okay, that fluctuates, yes, but that does not affect the distance that the target is from the surface of the water. How high it is above the surface of the water is independent of the actual height of the water body with respect to the bottom of the lake. That has nothing to do with it. Because the target maintains the same height above the surface of the water because it is mounted in a post that's frozen to the lake ice that is floating on the surface of the lake. So the lake level itself can move up and down, but the ice is just going to remain stable on the surface of that ice. It's going to move up and down with the ice, and the target is going to move up and down with the ice and remain at the
That's
same
right.
height
Move
above
up
the
and
water
down
surface.
and remain at the same height.
It's
Can you hear
gonna
that?
knock your alignment out. It's gonna knock your alignment out if stuff is moving up and down all the time.
Yeah, tell you what, Ben, go into the beef room with me. I don't want to deal with Payge here.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to either if I was saying the kind of shit you're saying.
How does George know what happens inside a black hole if there's not elements in there we don't know about? I mean, these guys act like it's the same. These Globers do this all the time. They'll act like they know everything that happens on Earth always for the whole of history.
He literally just said that the target will move up and down with the ice as the water moves up and down, but it will remain at the same height.
Yeah, it's
Like,
Yeah, so apparently you
nonsense.
don't want to discuss this.
No,
I'll just
he
tell you this.
doesn't,
Over the course
George.
of the winter, Ben, the lake level
He-
doesn't change hardly at all through the course of the winter because it's frozen. We have no inflow coming into the lake because all the streams are frozen and there isn't much outflow going. So over the course of the winter, the lake level might change a foot over, say, 3 months. So that's really not an issue. But the thing is what everybody seems to be missing is that the target is mounted on the ice, which is floating on top of the lake, and that remains at the same height with respect to the surface of the water.
No doubt. No doubt. I wish I had that hypothesis from that rainy lake test. Can you DM that to me, George? Because that shit was hilarious.
I have no interest in jumping through hoops for you.
All right, I'll find it. QE did a video on it. I'll check it out on its site.
Hey George, I got a question. I got a bet going. How tall did you climb that tree at 6 miles? The one where Jesse could
Let's
bluff.
see. The target there is 35 feet, and the base of the tree was about 12 feet. So 23 feet roughly.
Damn, we were both wrong. All right, cool.
Because you got to remember
yeah,
the
he
tree
doesn't
was
mind
on a
another
rock
guy asking him
outcropping
stuff
on
and
that
butting in, but
island.
if it's a girl,
Out on Home Island at the 6 Mile Island, Rakia, the rock, there's cliffs there, and so the rock outcropping was about 12 feet above the water where the base of the tree is. And also, Bandit, is you have to remember there is sufficient amount of ice on the lake. Typically, it's around 30 inches thick. So it's like a boat. It floats on top of the water. So if you say mounted a target onto your boat and measured it to the surface of the water, as the body of the lake water changes up and down, the target floats up and down in the boat and
I
maintains the
understand
same
what he's
height
doing.
above the surface of the water. That doesn't change.
George, can I just ask you, you're measuring from the top of the pole down to just the bottom of the boat. You're just measuring, that's your measurement, isn't it? And that's what's moving up and down. Is that right? So that measurement always stays the same because the height from however tall the stake is that you put on your boat, from the top of that to the bottom of the boat, that will always remain the same.
Exactly.
Right.
You got it.
So how do we know then if the top of that stake is moving up and down in relation to like the ground around the lake? Like where you've got your sight looking at it,
it does.
And you're
Of
on the
course
ground and the...
Of course it does.
Did you get that? So
But
how does that affect?
the amount of movement is very little, as I explained, over the course of the winter. That movement is less than a foot over 3 months because there's no inflow coming into the lake during the wintertime.
So it's definitely measurable. I mean, a foot's definitely measurable.
Well, yeah, over 3
Isn't it?
months,
Yeah.
but from day to day, it's basically imperceptible. And it's accounted for in the measurements because, pardon?
Is it? Oh,
yes.
How's it? So
it changes the observation height. So I subtract the difference.
Height.
Yeah. My observation instruments are mounted on the bedrock on land. Okay.
Right. Yep.
So that target height is going to change if the lake level changes. So you either subtract that difference off the observation height or you readjust the targets.
Yes.
Cool.
So you do have a way to measure it. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I was just thinking that because I was always thinking you were talking about the measurement of that second measurement I'm talking about. Once I realized you were actually talking about the distance between the top of the post and the bottom of the boat, that goes up and down altogether. Now I understand more what you're trying to say. But I just think that the fact that the thing would move it all up and down, though, I think that would have an effect on what you see. So I would like to.
Oh, it is, but keep in mind, the observation was 13 feet above the surface of the water. Okay? Now, if the surface of the water changes an inch or two, that's not a very much change, but that gets accounted for because when I went out to the targets, if I found it necessary, the target heights were readjusted to account for the change in lake level.
Right. Yep. Cool.
But fortunately, being in the wintertime, those adjustments were not needed very often because the lake level just never changed much. I mean, right now I've been monitoring the lake, and let me show you. From the 1st of November, the lake level was 11,006.67 feet, okay, to 100th of an inch, 100th of a foot. A 100th of a foot is 1/10 of an inch, basically. Okay, so keep that in mind. 1106.67. Okay, now on December 1st, a month later, it was 1106.28. So it dropped about 4/10 of an inch, almost 4/10 of a foot. So about 3 inches. Okay. So Now in December, going yet another month, a month later here, let's see, December, or no, that was December. So January 1st, let's see, January 1st, it's at 1106.30. So from beginning of December to beginning of January, it changed from 1106.28 to 1106.30. So it went up 2/100ths of an inch of a foot, 2/100ths of a foot, 2/10ths of an inch in a month. And now, let's see, as of the 19th, okay, 2 days ago, it was at 1106.13. So from the beginning, January at 1106.30, 1106.13. So it's changed 0.17 feet. So 12 inches per foot, say it changed about 2/10ths of a foot. So you're looking at a little over 2 inches in 3 weeks. So it doesn't change much over the course of the winter. Is not like during the summertime. Summertime, you have rains. You could easily have lake level change an inch or two over the course of an overnight rain, but we don't have rain in the wintertime. Once you have ice on top of the lake, nothing happens to the water underneath it. It's very calm, very still, no swells, no waves. So it's an ideal time to be making measurements.
Probably be a great place to do mirror flashes and stuff. We do line of sight mirror flashes.
Oh yeah. Especially this year, we hardly have any snow on the ice. You can.
Oh wow! Yeah, that would have been great.
You can drive anywhere you want on the lake this year. Take my truck out there, and the snow doesn't even get to axle height this year. But yeah, I mean, you go out in the big part of the lake, and there aren't any. Fortunately, we don't have any ice ridges and mountains like sometimes we get with the extreme cold weather. We haven't had any extreme cold weather that causes the ice to expand and buckle and create ice mountains. This year, it's just nice, smooth ice with about 8 inches of snow on top. So basically, the bottom line is during the wintertime, the actual lake level itself is easily accounted for and could easily even be ignored, but I choose not to ignore it. I just get all the data in case someone's interested in how things fluctuate. But for the most part, it's a don't care when you're setting your observations and that up 13 feet above the surface of the ice, whether or not that ice moves up and down with respect to the land around it by, an inch or two really doesn't affect what's going on, but I do account for it. Anyway, have a good night. I got to go and get some work done.
Yeah, good night, George. Sorry, I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just eating my lunch. I'm starting to starve. It's like 2:10 in the afternoon. Dying of hunger.
There you go. Catch you, George.
Well, the thing is, Paige, I don't hate you as a person. it's just, it gets so damn frustrating when someone asks me a question, I'm trying to answer it, and then you and other people jump in and don't let me finish. And I've just lost my patience for that sort of thing. I care not to fight to be heard anymore. And so I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings or whatever, but
No,
you know, if
no, I
didn't jump
don't. I
in
don't
over me,
hold
we would get
anything.
along fine.
Well, I don't do it all the time. I only do it when I think there's something I need to say, and I do stop when, you know, if I hear you get annoyed, I do stop and let you finish. You know I'm not the easiest person to talk to, but I don't resort to calling you stupid and dumb bastard, and you start doing that to me every time. And I've
Yes, I
heard the
do.
guys jump in. The guys jump in when you're talking to one guy, another guy will jump in and start talking and like adding bits like what I do, or asking you something to clarify like I do, or just adding a thought, and you don't seem to say anything to them.
No, that's not true. I'm an equal opportunity abuser.
Okay, well, you didn't seem to go off
I've
with the guys
called
today. It was
Jeremy.
just me. I do
I've
tend
called
to feel
Jeremy
singled
and
out by
Racky.
you. That's just my.
Yeah. I've called
That's just how
Jeremy
you
and
make me feel.
Racky and others when they jump in on me, dumb SOBs and stuff too. So,
It
don't
just
think
seems to
I'm
take a bit
singling you
longer
out.
to.
Don't
Well,
think
I'm
I'm
just letting you know.
singling you out.
Okay,
I'm not
all
racist.
right.
I will abuse everybody.
All right, no worries, George. Thank you for saying anything anyway. So cool. Enjoy
I'll
your
vouch
evening.
for George
Take care.
there. He will abuse anyone.
Yeah, I know he does. I know he gets annoyed at everybody. It just seems to take a lot longer with anybody else with him, He seems to just have a very short fuse for me.
No, I think you're imagining that. If you really paid attention, got yourself a stopwatch, you'd find that I give everybody else as much abuse as I do. I give you all
fair
equal
enough. I
time.
haven't timed just, so I can't. I don't know for sure. So yeah, you got me there. I should actually check, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you can state a hypothesis and actually make some scientific experiment run here and gather your data, and you'll find that you get.
All right, I'll concede on this
equal share.
argument. You've won. Yeah, you've won this one. I should go and check.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go and take care of my dog.